Hey, welcome to Basic Public Speaking Week 2. Yay! So, this mini clip, this video is over the communication process. And I'm just touching base on this because the communication process is the basis of any communication course you may take. You will hear about this process. So, I'm just touching base on it, and then we'll talk about speechcraft, period, and the different genres of speech. And that's what we're going to cover in this evening's lessons, well, this week's lessons. So the communication process is pretty straightforward. It's the process of communication. So on one end, you have the sender, and on the other end, you have the receiver. So what happens in between is the process. So there's coding and decoding. Now, the sender sends a message and they code it. This is coding, is the sending of the message from the sender to the receiver. Now, there's different channels. What do I mean by channels? It can be verbal. It can be you with a parent or a sibling or a friend or whomever, and it could be the verbal, hey, how's it going? How's your day? Are you ready for the weekend? This is what we're talking about. It's just the verbal communication. That's a channel. Other channels are electronic media, electronic-based communication, or electronic mediated communication, which is EMC. And this is text messaging, social media, direct messaging, tweets, IMing, all that falls under EMC. You can send a text, you can send a message, you can post on people's walls, you can tweet, you can Snapchat, you can, there's a huge slew that falls under the electronic channel. So once the message has been received, coded, it then goes to the receiver. Now, once the receiver gets the message, they then go through the process of decoding. And decoding is where you put your own thoughts behind what is said. Like, if someone says hello to you, it could be a chipper, perky, hello, how's it going? Or it could be kind of like, hey, how's it going? Kind of alerting you that there's something up. There's more there than what seems. That's where decoding comes from in the receiver. So based off of body language and intonations and tones, the receiver then decodes the message. And then they can choose to send back to the receiver, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So sender codes and sends the message through a channel to the receiver, who then receives and decodes based off of prior knowledge or their familiarity with the person or subject, body language, tone, intonation, all that falls in the decoding process. And then they resend the message. So you get this kind of a continual loop. And I will post diagram pictures of the process. Some people have it as an oval, some have it as multiple circles kind of intertwined, some even have it that kind of look like a little tornado but it's just different theorists and just different theorist diagrams of them. Along with this, there's noise. And we will talk more about noise in the listening section. And it's not just physical external noise, as in if you're trying to talk to someone face to face, maybe you hear traffic, or if for a classroom, it could be other people talking, it could be rustling of papers, it could be bell, it could be outside someone's cutting grass, or if you're talking to a parent, there's all kinds of external noise that could be going on that could interfere with the coding or decoding of the message being sent. Then so that's external. Then we have internal noise. And internal noise is more of your psychological state. Maybe you're just super tired. You were up all night studying, or you had to work late, or you had a meeting, something that made you stay up late, or a reason why you had to get up super early. So maybe you're not 100% awake, or maybe you don't feel good. These are all things that can hinder our communication process because we're not 100% mentally checked into the conversation. Or maybe you're really worried about something coming up, like, oh, there's a big test coming up, or I have an interview with a school, or I have a meeting, or, I have multiple meetings. There are many factors that come into play internally, but it keeps us from being 100% present in the conversation. And it's not just like rough stuff. We could be having an extremely great day. You could have just got accepted to your favorite school, or you could have, heard from someone or got an answer for something that you've been looking for, and you're elated and you're just excited. So again, you're not 100% mentally into the conversation. So again, the communication roughly broke down. And again, I will post documents to go with this as well. There's a sender and a receiver. The message gets, coded and decoded. And all of the coding and decoding is based off of our thought process, our meaning behind words or phrases, our connotative, denotive meanings, and our body language, our intonations, all of that falls under the coding and decoding process. Now there's channels that we can go through, and these are face-to-face, which is your verbal, and under face-to-face too kind of falls calling someone on the telephone, and then you have your EMC communication, which is electronic mediated communication, and that's your text messaging, social media, direct messaging, IMing, all that falls underneath that. So that is the communication process in a very tight, small nutshell. I just wanted to touch base on this before we continue on, because like I said, you'll see this in every communication course, and probably in some other courses will cover the communication process as well. So I'll post some pictures to go along with this to give you more of a visual representation. Okay, guys. Awesome. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.